And joining me now to discuss the African Union Commission's upcoming election and other matters affecting Africa is African Affairs analyst Paul Ejime. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get your thoughts on the upcoming election of the African Union Commission, which is to hold on Sunday, February 7, and as well in line with the state of the continent at this moment.
Well, the African continent has never been in a worse state than it is now, complicated by the COVID-19 pandemic. If advanced countries are struggling, you imagine what it is for Africa. There are no drugs, and even the vaccine that is being produced. There is this question of now vaccine nationalism. Countries are taking care of their own nationals first before thinking about others. So that is where Africa has found itself. The capacity is not there. The health system has been challenged and is collapsing. And so, but thank God that the prediction of doomsayers that Africa will fare too badly has not happened. But that is not to say that anybody should go to sleep and hope that God is an African. So that is the context. And then now you bring the AU that is supposed to be the flagship, the foremost political organization. Remember what the role that its predecessor played. It survived. It's a replacement of the African, the Organization of African Unity. It played a major role in the liberation struggle for Africa. Most of the countries now in the EU, 55 of them, most of them owe their independence to what happened from that independent period, where you had the Nkrumahs, the Pan-Africanists and all that.
All right,
that is not the same today.
So just allow me jump in here. We see this contestation when it comes to the election of the African Union Commission. We know that Muhammad Faki would be running unopposed, but there are camps who think that that's not the right thing to be done. When you look at all of this debate going on around this election, does it speak of the political this instability as well in Africa, that this is a true reflection of what politics is like in Africa?
Yes, I was giving you the background because AU has not, since 2002 that it came up, has not, covered itself in glory. You talked about insecurity, you talked about political instability. In the past, the Organization of African Unity took up, even fought colonial masters. But here, what is happening is that you have a crop of African leaders that are even worse than the colonial masters. They are doing the bidding of foreign countries and then, suffering their people. What is there? This type of thing that is now happening at the eve of this election happened in 2017 when Zuma, the first lady to the third AU chairperson, from South Africa, was leaving office. And then they couldn't get their head around what is happening. And then it was at the last minute that Musa Faki himself became a beneficiary of power. Now he is seen and then very malleable to external influences that people are worried about the continuation of his tenure. It has never happened. One person in the country, in the continent of more than 1.3 million people, and 55 countries, you are talking about unopposed candidates. It shows you the machinations, which others are not actually living up to. Ghana, for instance, you won't believe it, Ghana had to step down his own candidate to support Faki, and you will wonder what is there for Ghana. And so on, the Zimbabwean lady that was kicked out of AU, she was the African Union ambassador to the US, but was kicked out because she was telling the truth, talking about what France has done and is doing to destabilize Africa. But nobody listened to her. Her candidature was, not even considered, and so on and so forth. So It hasn't taken, it will not take Africa anywhere. In 2017, when Faki came in, it was opened up for other candidates to come in, and that is what some civil society organizations are saying. Open the space. I don't know what has Faki to show for the 4 years that he's been there since 2017. Africans are suffering. Look at even where the headquarters of the AU, Ethiopia. The government there is fighting Tigray region, and more than 50,000 people, according to opposition parties, have been killed. What has AU done? In 2011, Gaddafi, who was backrolling AU, was killed, and Africa was just watching. So it's become an embarrassment, that organization, and something needs to be done. Even from 2017, they talked about reform. But that reform, I don't think with this kind of thing they are doing will not see the light of day. Unfortunate.
So much to talk about when it comes to this election, but I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Really looking at how African Union Commission has benefited Africa and Africans, but we do have to leave it there. African Affairs Analyst Paul Ejime, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on this issue.
Thank you for having me.